I mean, it doesn't even have to be in the sense that it's like you make income off of it, because not a lot of artists do make income off of their music. But it's a career in the sense that you put in the same amount of effort that you would at a regular job. You put the same amount of time, the same amount of energy, and sometimes even more than that than you would at your typical 9 to 5. And I feel like that's what distinguishes it from being a hobby and making it a career.
Turn this shit up, Sean.
We have Alejandra Mesa, ladies and gentlemen. Please take your own moment to introduce yourself. Anything you want people to know about you off top, but then I have a great amount of questions that I think will all benefit from the knowledge of.
Sounds good. Well, I'm Alejandra Mesa. I do pop music and a little bit of experimenting with genres here and there. Like I just released a hip-hop rap track in January, but I also released a very traditional pop song also in January called Bouncy. It's my newest single. And yeah, I just like to have fun.
So as far as I know, you are from Fort Morgan initially,
Yes.
then moved to Loveland eventually.
Eventually, yes.
Or, here to there, A to B, but I'm sure there's stops in between. But the thing about it is these are not Denver, right? They're not the inner city. Do you feel like you face hindrances being an out-of-towner, being the person from the outskirts?
Yeah, 100%, absolutely, because there's not as much opportunities for exposure. There's not enough shows, there's not enough opportunities in general for most things, let alone the pop music side of the Colorado music scene. So it's very difficult to build a fan base and grow in these, not necessarily smaller towns, but just not Denver.
And what I imagine is that there's probably a good 30, 40 people you know, even in Fort Morgan and Loveland and all these places that all make music, but they won't travel the way you travel, so they're not involved in the inner city scenes the way you are now.
Oh, yeah.
Have you benefited from coming and getting involved in the inner city?
Oh, absolutely. There's so much more, like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just like the vibes are better. The energy is better. The people have more interest than in the towns that I've grown up in and where I live currently. It's a lot more, not necessarily welcoming, but there's just more opportunity for sure.
And what's even crazier is I notice the people who are here all the time, like we become kind of jaded, and it'll be people who don't get the lights, the vibe, the action all the time, like yourself, or like Too Easy, or somebody who's from the outskirts that's like when they show up they're so much more appreciative, they're having such a better time than almost anybody in the room, because you can tell that you really just benefit from those type of things.
Absolutely.
So you already kind of described your music. It's very pop leaning, very R&B. You're a very talented singer. There's no question about that.
Thank you.
Do you think that being a like a female singer versus being a male rapper makes any difference in the way your career has a trajectory?
100%. And the reasons being that it's so much easier to grow in Colorado if you are a rapper. Not necessarily because you're just gonna blow up overnight, but there's a bigger scene for it. The pop scene is so small in Colorado. I've seen maybe 3 or 4 other pop singers out of the dozens of shows I've done. It's very rare, it's far and few in between, and it makes a huge difference, the fact that there's not that popularity for it necessarily in the music scene here in the state, but there is a huge hip-hop community, huge rap community, and that makes a massive difference.
And a low bar for the rapper community too. Like you know, like you said, I can only name yourself, Locana, Keenan, Neptune. Like there's not, you know, maybe Kid Astronaut, he's kind of a rapper too. There's not a ton of pop artists who represent music at that level, right? So that is an interesting way that you say that. Like almost everybody can be a rapper and will find a way to respect it, but if a kid walks on stage and he says he's a pop artist and it's trash, we're just like, I will never remember his name. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's interesting. So what's a moment in your life, either or career necessarily, positive, negative, however you look at it, indifferent, that maybe shaped the way you see the scene today? You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like what's a key moment you look back on and you're like, you know what, that's when I knew I could be a part of it, or that's when I knew I didn't want to be a part of it in that way?
It's gonna sound cheesy, but when I had a concert show at the Orchid,
Fire.
it was an all-female show.
Fire.
That's the first time I heard Locana perform, and I met her that night.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of just opened the doors to being like, oh, there is room for me in this industry.
Mm-hmm. And that's a big power play, because like being around all ladies is something that like most people as a man, if you can understand why you need the female touch, an all lady show or an all lady movement is one of the most powerful things that you can get behind or be a part of. And on top of that, in the other regard, being male, I think it's like your responsibility to like offer assistance or help wherever you belong in those situations. You know what I mean? So I think of it like we do have roles, but our role is to lift people into other roles. It's not like gender roles, but just roles as humans. You know what I mean? And being a part of like an all ladies ship like that, or like concert, you know, Hip and Tef putting together an all ladies show, that's such a dope power play. So as a woman making R&B and pop and vibrant music, girly music, in a scene that's dominated by negativity, how do you keep from leaning into negative stuff? I don't know you to be like a partier, drinker, smoker. You probably do whatever you want to do in your private life, but like your music always seems to have a message that's still, for example, I can show my grandma. You know, she's a huge fan of you, actually. Like in real life, my grandma's a fan of you because you don't have all these pieces of negativity showing through your music. Not that it's bad. I like negative music too, but why is that? Do you notice that? Do you even think about it?
Honestly, I feel like I just make more positive music because that's just kind of how I am. I'm a positive person.
Absolutely.
I don't really like to be pessimistic. I don't like to let things get in my way or get me down. So it's important to have a little bit of positivity, and I'm all for like negative music, not necessarily in the way that's like, oh, everything sucks and life is terrible, but more in the way that like brings awareness, like my unreleased Men Are From Mars song that talks about like how it's different from my perspective of how I see men, and especially men in the industry or men that I care about, versus how they would see me. And that song is very important to me because it talks about how it may not be true what I'm perceiving of the male industry or of guys in general. Yeah. But this is my perspective.
Perfect.
And I feel like it sends a good message, and that's like a good way to bring positivity into negative music. And I just feel like that's just how I vibe.
Creates
honestly.
Contrast.
Absolutely,
That's so dope. And that is one of my favorite songs. I'm excited for the world to see a different side of your art. So what do you want fans to know about your music that don't, what do you want fans to understand about you through your music that they don't know yet?
I just want them to understand that like it's okay to not always have to be serious, you know, like you don't always have to make music and lyrics that are serious and like giving I don't even know how to describe it, like that are deep. Not everything is that deep, and I say that so many times outside of music. I'm like, it's not that deep. It's really not. And a lot of things can boil down to just simple things. Like anything can boil down to something simple. And it doesn't have to be personal. It doesn't have to be offensive. It just has to be how you are, you know? You just be yourself, essentially.
Interestingly enough, you are better at this than most people I know, including myself, but you just don't take yourself too seriously. Not meaning you don't work hard, not meaning you don't grind and shit, because you do take that part of it seriously, but like you've never walked in the room with like an aura that's higher than anybody else. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I'm not gonna lie to you, bro, I think you deserve to, if that makes sense. Like, I think a lot of people want to be who you are, as talented as you are, in the position you are, have the friends you do, rub shoulders the way you do, be in the scene you are, especially being from the place you are, but I don't think you've never seemed satisfied to me. Some people walk in the room and they kind of feel satisfied. Have you ever felt that? Like,
Oh, absolutely.
you know they're dope and you respect them because they're dope artists, but it's like, you gotta like still be a little hungry. You gotta want to shake people's hands. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And if you aren't humble, if you think too highly of yourself, it's not a good image at all. I mean, we're all human. When you, again, boil it down to something simple, we are all human. Whether you have a lot of money, a little money, you're famous, you're not, we're all human in the sense that we bleed the same color. We have the same roots. Like, it's just that. We are human.
Let me just keep going here. So let's go back to where you grew up, how you grew up. Do you think that your influence being like in pop and R&B comes from your parents at all, or your mom specifically, or is that just something you chose? What does she like to listen to?
She likes to listen to a lot of like old school, like hip hop, and Bone Thugs is a good example. She likes Tupac. She listens to a lot of like reggaeton and you know, Spanish music, Bad Bunny too.
Yeah.
Daddy Yankee, yes, absolutely.
That's
and
what's up.
she doesn't really listen to a whole lot of pop music.
Okay, that's good to know. That's an interesting contrast. I do a lot of music in the style that my mom likes. I took my mom to Bone Thugs this year just because that's like her favorite.
I also took my mom to Bone
That's
Thugs.
dope. Oh yeah, we missed each other.
Yep.
Yeah, well, good. Great minds think alike.
Oh yeah.
Was there a time when you knew that this wasn't just going to be a hobby anymore? Like, was that as a kid or as an adult? You know what I mean?
It was as a kid.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to sing ever since I could sing. And I've always known that, hey, I want to be a singer when I grow up. And that has never changed. In my entire life, it's been the same.
Yeah, I've seen videos of you performing, actually, now that I think about it, when you were quite young.
Yep.
I was the same way. I have very vivid memories of, like, a kid's karaoke toy or whatever, and I just would stand on the bed and pretend there was girls down there in the audience or whatever. But I've always been on stage in my mind, too. So you're at home, you knew you were going to be an artist. When did you go to a studio first, or did you start buying gear first? Like, how did you start recording?
So I started recording by reaching out to a couple friends that I knew did music. And from there, they kind of like guided me. They, like, the first song I ever recorded, they brought the stuff to my apartment.
Fire.
We recorded in a pantry.
Fire.
Like, it was just simple. And then from there, I realized, oh, this is actually something I can do in a serious way. Like, I can take this seriously. I can make a career off this. It doesn't have to just be a hobby.
What makes it a career? How do people make money?
I mean, it doesn't even have to be in the sense that it's like you make income off of it, because not a lot of artists do make income off of their music. But it's a career in the sense that you put in the same amount of effort that you would at a regular job. You put the same amount of time, the same amount of energy, and sometimes even more than that than you would at your typical 9 to 5. And I feel like that's what distinguishes it from being a hobby and making it a career.
And I'll add to that point, because I think the biggest step that most artists are missing is their actual plan to their career. Like, to get to the point of, I know who I see myself as, regardless of money. This is who I'm going to be. But this is who I am now. And there are steps in between there that, whether it's like I have to spend a certain amount and I'll never make it back, or I have to go and fly on these planes and meet these people and shake these hands. There's always a threshold, but everybody without a plan is going to end up exactly where they belong. And I don't mean that negatively. You might blow up overnight if without a plan, but that could be the worst thing in the world for a lot of people.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
and it could be something negative that you blow up
There
off
you
of
go.
too. So
there you go.
yeah, just really important that you are yourself,
Yeah.
but also in the sense that if it's not within your image that you're trying to create for yourself, don't do it.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't want people to perceive you as, I don't know, for example, like an alcoholic, don't get drunk at a party and throw up on the floor. Like,
Fuck yeah.
that's important. You gotta be you in the sense that it's part of your image as well, because that image is you.
One lady that I respect very much, and this is going to be a super hot take, but the way she stuck to the core of who she is, even though she didn't mean to be famous, is Danielle Bregoli or Bad Baby. She was perceived as a ghetto brat, and so she was a ghetto brat and is a ghetto brat, and that's her entire demeanor, and there's really no performance to it. Some of her music's okay. She doesn't necessarily belong in the rap game, which is totally fine, but she has created an empire off of one moment, right?
Oh, yeah.
And that's not something you can plan for. That happens, and it happens good or it happens bad, and I think Hawk Tuah is a great example of when it happens bad, right?
Exactly.
And she's, just a girl too, right? We're all just humans, and I do not blame either of these people for getting famous off of what happens to you it's almost like the only way to get famous anymore. Like,
Absolutely,
you can't force it, right? So like you're saying, we're going to put in all this effort regardless because this is who we are, it's our career. What if you're working, like J. Cole said, good news is you came a long way, bad news is you went the wrong way. What if you found out you've been working in the wrong direction this whole time? Or you turned 30, you know what I mean? Then what's left in it for you?
Honestly, even if you take the wrong path, you can always go back. There's a right or wrong, but it doesn't have to always be that way. Just because you went the wrong way doesn't mean you have to stay going the wrong way. It's like people that, again, are alcoholics. They can get sober. People that abuse drugs, they can go to rehab and better themselves.
Hell yeah.
It doesn't always...
sexy, by the way.
Absolutely. It doesn't always have to be one way or the other. It's not black and white. Nothing is. It's a colorful world. And we gotta act in that way, that it is colorful.
Yeah, I'm almost 29, and I'm kind of restarting my entire career right now with this whole media venture. And I'm not walking away from music per se, but I agree that you can always rebrand yourself, grab a new idea, clean your closet out, get rid of shit. You've made choices and you're not proud of them, so remake the choice. You know what I mean? Wake up tomorrow, do it again. Anyways, we're off topic. So the reason I was asking about your friend, or when you went to the studio, is because I know now that you record yourself at home and you make all your own demos for a lot of your music. Sometimes you drop your own music recorded from home. What's the hardest part about that for you from a home studio perspective? You're definitely, I imagine you're not an engineer.
Not at all.
Means, right? So what's been the craziest, hardest part that you ran into?
Just knowing how to mix and master. It is just the most ridiculous thing in the world to build yourself from zero and try and learn how to do that on your own. And that's a big part of why I go to recording studios other than my home, and I just do demos mostly at home because I don't know how to fucking mix and master. I can't do it. And I am actually going to go back to school in the summertime to finish my associate's degree in music.
Hell yeah.
Because they added a new music program at the college that I wanted to go to.
Good for you.
So hopefully maybe I can learn a little bit and have to rely less on other people to make my own music.
So that's what my degree is in. And I won't say I recommend the school I went to, but I do recommend going and doing that. What I'll tell you is knowing how to mix and master comes from knowing how to record better. And a lot of people don't want to hear that when they're in the earlier process, but 2 years from now or 3 years from now when you wrap up, you're going to be like, damn, it's all in the recording. You know what I mean? So if I can tell you anything that I learned later that I wish I knew earlier, is just figure out how to get the best in. Meaning, eliminate as much white noise. If you can, get a great EQ going. And then after that, your engineer can do whatever. But if you can record yourself better, then the sky is the limit on your mixes and masters. And this is a crazy tidbit, but speaking of EQ, do you know who the goddess is?
I do, yes.
Egypt. So she goes by EQ, Egyptian queen or whatever. Her voice, she was here the other day in the studio, her voice is naturally EQ'd. I didn't do anything to her voice. It just sounds so good going in. And I'm like, it's crazy because your name is EQ and your voice is EQ. Anyways, again, we're off topic. So you made Too Bad, So Sad, and you also made Bouncy. You dropped those and you sent them to radio.
Yes.
Or one of them.
One of them did get sent to radio, yes.
How did that feel? What was the review like? Was there any feedback?
Yeah, it felt fantastic. And I mean, I could see on a daily basis just watching the stats go up and up and up.
Mm-hmm.
And even like my monthly listeners on Spotify have stayed consistent since then. The Apple Music, you could see how many people Shazam your song. And I mean, my song got over 100 Shazams while being on the radio. Like, people were interested. And that honestly made it kind of like solidify the idea that I can actually do this.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't just have to be a hobby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's gangsta. Who put you on the radio?
Her name's Alicia Sweeney of Indie 102.3.
Mm-hmm.
She's fantastic. The whole thing happened because Telly had reached out to her and said, hey, this girl makes good music. You should check her out. So then she DM'd me on Instagram and was like, hey, I like your song. Let's get it on the radio. And it happened. The rest is history.
It's about who you know.
Absolutely.
And what I'll say is you don't just make good music, but you're a sweetheart. You're like Colorado's sweetheart, right? So that's why Telly had no problem throwing you that alley-oop. It's not just that you make good music. There's tons of people who make good music, but they're dickheads. You deserved the alley-oop as well as make good music. Do you see what I'm saying? So remember that. Not that you're gonna lose that piece of yourself who's so sweet, but don't think that doesn't play a part. You know what I mean? Because we all notice it and we're grateful for it. You have described your music as bringing excitement, being joyous, being not too serious, being fun. Do you think that the confidence and joy in a woman's voice gets coded differently than it does in a man's?
100%. I feel like there's always the stereotype that women should be happy and joyous and confident, but not too confident, and like just keeping negativity under wraps. And I don't want to like give into that stereotype, but I want it to be like, you can still be joyous and have bad days.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't always have to be perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, forgive me for being rude, but I said girls deserve to hang their nuts on us sometimes too. You know what I mean? Like, pump their chest, bark on us, do whatever they got to do to feel human, like the animals we are. Like, they deserve that primal instinct like we all do.
100%. Again, we're all human.
Just like men deserve their soft days. You know what I mean? Men deserve to make their
100%.
pop music and shit. And it's like, don't think that we aren't jealous of that too. Because me, I'm kind of a poppy guy. You know what I mean? But there are days where it's like, they're gonna test my gangster too if I lean too hard into that. You know what I mean? So it's, I don't know. Gender roles are stupid.
Absolutely.
And I think that I don't fall into them too strongly. Like, I try to take care of my kid. I respect my wife, but other than that, being a man is just about, being a stand-up man. It's not really about. It's about being a stand-up person.
Exactly.
It's not about male or female, right? Mm-hmm. And my sibling goes back and forth on gender construct all the time. In between there, here, whatever. But I remind them at the end of the day, just be a stand-up person. Just be the person we all love. What's a song in your catalog that you feel like fans haven't fully cracked open or appreciated yet?
Ooh. Honestly, Bouncy, to be honest.
I agree. I fucking agree.
Because like I don't have a music video yet.
Okay.
We're working on it. But yeah, no, it's been out for like over a month.
Okay.
Got about 60 streams.
That's what's
up. And I feel like it still needs to be pushed a little more. Like maybe a music video would push that further, or some radio play or something
I think I got an idea for you. We'll talk off camera, but I'll give you a good promo marketing run. The Colorado music scene still on. I don't get a lot of ladies in here, so a lot of this is going to be gender focused, and I'm sorry.
Worries,
don't think that
good.
I'm trying to just lean into that, but that's what grabs attention for all of us, especially as male rappers. We just want to hear how it feels to be a lady sometimes,
Absolutely.
The Colorado music scene is heavily male, not just the artists, but the engineers, the promoters, the booking agents, the venues even sometimes. Does that feel like excuse me, what does navigating that feel like?
It feels challenging because 99% of the shows that I do, it's all guys. Especially if it's like a concert show, for example. Rarely are there ever any other girls.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually just me.
Mm-hmm.
And that can be extremely challenging because, guys bring their fans, they have their music, they're doing not pop music. And then I go on and it's pop music and it's either hit or miss.
And they didn't all bring their grandma with them.
Exactly.
I got you. Don't worry. Keep going.
There was one show recently where one of the guys had their mom there, and
Cool.
the mom just loved the music. And he messaged me the day after and was like, "Hey, my mom adored your music. Like, that was the happiest I've seen her in a long time. Thank you for that."
Hell yeah.
And
They
that
ask me
just-
what I do and who I do it for. Hell yeah.
That just is so motivating, you know?
Nah, man, I've seen it in action. Because my grandma, she'll dance because it's me, but she don't like rap that much. You know what I mean? Like, she don't fucking care about this shit. Like, she respects it because she knows that I take it seriously and I do a good job at it. But real talk, she's like, when she hears real music, that's when she's getting up. And you're one of the first people she got up for, like, in a long time.
That's
Like,
fantastic.
you started her whole new wave. She's outside because of you this year.
Oh, I love that.
Speaking of ladies, there's a difference between femininity and feminism in how female artists position themselves. And I'm gonna put this term out there because it gets used, but not because I think that I'm not suffering from this, me personally. But some girls create a personality off of being a man hater.
They do.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
Men
yeah.
are stupid. Men should shut up. You've never felt like that to me in your music or in person or anything. Do you think that that's on, like, do you struggle with that? Do you ever want to lean into the men are stupid thing, or?
Not at all.
Yeah.
I have said this so many times recently to a lot of like women I know. Sometimes you just need a man. Like, sometimes you just need a guy. It's not necessarily in the sense of like, oh, you need a romantic partner that's a guy. Like, I don't care. Even if you're lesbian, bi, pan, I don't care what you are. Sometimes you just need a guy. Like, me, for example, I don't necessarily rely on a man for everything, but sometimes I can't fucking hang a shelf. Sometimes I need my car worked on, like, and sometimes there's not always a lady to do that kind of job, but there's usually a guy to do that kind of job, and sometimes you just need a guy. Like, it's okay to not be a man hater.
Hell yeah.
You don't have to hate on everything. Like, there's enough hate in the world. Don't bring that out of yourself. Like, there's no need for that.
I have fallen out of love with Tyler Perry movies very, very quickly, but oh wait, let me get my audio back going over here. One sec. They have made a new one recently where Uncle Joe goes on a road trip and he takes his nephew or grandson or whatever, and the little boy ends up, he's been telling Uncle Joe, he's trying to educate him the whole time. He's like, you know, you can't be telling people their genders and we can't assume blah, blah. And he's like, I don't even believe in gender. And then the little boy ends up getting some pussy later. And he's like, you believe in gender now, little nigga? And it's just like little things like that. It's like no, I agree that trans people and people who are, you know, struggling with their gender identity deserve to be who they are. But some little boys still deserve to know that they are just little boys who are going to grow up to be young men, and there are still young ladies who are going to grow up to be grown women, and that's still a cool thing.
Absolutely.
On both ends. Just like if you are confidently and healed and have moved through into your transition as a trans person, that's cool as fuck too.
Absolutely.
And if you can really be around for that and see that firsthand, that's something I hope everybody experiences. It's not like a recommendation. It's not like to go sightseeing or whatever, but
You know, it's all about respect.
there you go. Male artists in the genre generally get to be sexual, aggressive, confident, and it gets read as authentic. If you were to do that, the conversation shifts.
Absolutely.
Is that why you avoid it, or is?
Not
Really?
necessarily, honestly. I feel like, I mean, a guy, for example, can talk about sex in a song and be like, oh, I fuck bitches, I love doing, like, all this crazy shit.
Mm-hmm.
But if a girl did the same thing, it's like, whoa, what the fuck? You
Mhm.
shouldn't say that. But, like, I don't honestly give a shit. Like,
Mhm.
if I want to dress in a mini skirt and a tiny ass top and go out, that's fine. Like, if a guy wants to sexualize me, that's on him. He's disrespectful.
Mhm.
It's not about anything I did. I'm respectful. That's on him. That's showing what kind of a person, what kind of character he is.
Mhm.
And vice versa. If a guy wants to, you know, go out in whatever outfit he wants and a girl's gonna sexualize him, it's the same thing.
Mhm.
It's all about respect.
Yep. And there are people, not that you and I are obviously spoken for in relationships, but there are people who go out with the only goal and intent is to hopefully be sexualized. And I think that some people forget that. Like, that girl might not have had a pass at her in the past few months and wore that skirt on purpose trying to find a man tonight. And how about you mind your fucking business unless you're gonna go be that man tonight? You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely. 100%.
And it's, you know, I've compared it to like, we as men think that, you know, we deserve because we're conquerors, we're kings, we manifest destiny in the American language, whatever, however you want to think of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we did this all off the backs of women. When you break it all down, and it's like, I think that women deserve a century or two to just wild the fuck out, bro. A century or two at least, you know, it'll be cool.
Well, I've always seen like the TikTok videos that are like, oh, I would dress up like outfits I would wear if I lived in a female world and no guys ever existed, and it's like,
do it anyway.
yeah, do it anyway. There's nothing stopping you.
And the more we do it, the better men will, like, from the male perspective, I'll say this, it's like, we're so not desensitized, but we are sensitized to the female body.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, if we're around girls who are always covering themselves up, and then we finally do see a girl show skin, we're not gonna know how to handle ourselves because we're not taught to handle ourselves around girls showing skin.
Mm-hmm.
The more people teach young boys to just respect other people, and then girls can be who they are, show their skin, live their lives, the less it becomes a problem to little boys and then eventually grown men too. But it's something we really need to, like, it's a cycle, right? It's something you have to, like, start and instill and keep it going. But
absolutely,
that's another conversation, obviously. When you look at who's putting on in Colorado right now, who's getting booked, who's actually getting press, what do you notice about the R&B and pop artists versus the rap artists who sit in that conversation?
Honestly, like, the people that are getting the exposure and the big concerts and shit like that, a lot of it is male dominated, and a lot of it is rap. But, like, I feel like if you're a pop girly, or even just any girl in the industry in Colorado, if you want to be able to get it bigger and open for big artists and, like, get that exposure, you have to basically already be famous. Like, it's not like,
or pay, right?
Yeah, or pay a fuck ton of money. It's like, you can't just have, like, a coming up artist and then have somebody help you make yourself bigger. It's like, if you're already big or you have money, they'll help you. If you're broke and you're essentially a nobody listens to your music, nobody's gonna help you. And that's kind of where it comes into play of how you have to put in the effort, even if nobody's listening.
Absolutely.
It's like how they say, be kind even if nobody's watching.
Hell yeah.
It's the same thing with music.
Should a tree make a sound if it falls in the forest and no one's around to hear it? I will give you the flip side of that coin, but not that you're wrong, because you're not wrong. You're very right about that. It feels like the rappers get the likes on, like, blogs, like Mile High Minute, Box State TV, those type of things. But the real music publications, feels like they're paying more attention to the Keenans, the Locanas, the real artists. You know what I mean? So I don't say that as like a hater, like, oh, I'm a rapper.
Not at all.
I'm saying I think you're in the right spot as long as you get, like, you're gonna get the right attention the further you keep going. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You don't need rap blog attention, no matter how much you see other people getting it, right? And I'm a victim of that too. Like, I fall into the trap where it's just like, I want to keep up with the Joneses. I see 21-year-olds, no disrespect, but I see 21-year-olds and shit, young people, and they're getting all these, like, girls and cars and money and attention, and I'm like, that's cool, bro, but I'm playing a different game. And then there's days where I just want to play that game because I know I could play well, but I'm not playing that game. You know what I mean? You have been releasing music since July of 2024, according to ChatGPT. But your first headlining show was in December, and I was there at VR Social House. Take me back. Tell me not just what happened, but how you felt. What was going through your head?
Honestly, I kind of went through, like, a rebranding after the 2024 music that I released. 'Cause it was like, I felt like people were trying to, at least the people I was working with at the time, wanted me to be something that I wasn't. Like, for example, one of them told me, like, oh, well, you can't be Alejandra Mesa. You have to change your name because unless you're making Spanish music, there's not a place for that. Yeah, I didn't like that personally. I was like, it's my name.
Yeah,
like,
what the
it's my artist name. It's gonna be wherever
crazy.
for the rest of my life as long as I'm building. Like, I'm not gonna change it just because you want
my
me
birth
to.
certificate, bro?
Yeah, like I don't, and I'm like, what about Olivia Rodrigo, Sabrina Carpenter, like,
right, white bitches who are technically Spanish, probably. Like, I
so
don't
like
know
you
them,
don't
but-
necessarily have to be Selena Quintanilla.
Exactly.
To be able to put your like to be
What
able
are
to
we
put your name
talking
out there,
about?
like
Yeah.
it's just a name. And
Yeah.
I thought that was crazy, but from there I just kind of rebranded because it was Alejandra M.
Okay.
I didn't like that either. I was
Yeah.
like, no, that's not me. Like, I want it to be authentic. I want it to be me. So then I left all that, like all my SoundCloud shit. I mean, I update it occasionally.
Yeah.
But like my old Spotify, I don't touch that thing because it's not me.
Okay.
So I rebranded, made sure it was Alejandra Mesa, and that's who I am today. Like,
Cool.
I just wanted to. I say I've been doing music professionally for a year because that's when I started posting on platforms that are me.
Cool.
But it's been, I mean, since March 6th of last year, so a little over a year. And I mean, I'm still growing.
That's what's up. That's what's up, gang.
Even just not not necessarily in music, but like just as a person.
Yeah.
We're always growing. There's always opportunities to learn and grow. And I think that's the most important thing about being human.
So how has the new year treated you, the new artist? The artist formerly known as Prince.
the new year has treated me so good. Like, I've had so many doors open and opportunities come my way. I mean, I just opened for Kelly's tour.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Sorry I
That
wasn't
was,
there. I was the kid.
oh no, you're good.
Chilling.
That was like 2 days ago, and I'm on Foco MX next
Cool.
month. And
Cool.
yeah,
Huge.
absolutely.
Yeah, killing it, dude. You probably noticed I myself was also extremely outside last year, and the best thing about these past few months of this year is I've just been to myself. I've been in the studio. I've been figuring out my systems, doing this interview stuff. Like, I've just been breathing and hanging out and being safe. And like, honestly, I feel so much better because of it. Like, taking a break from going so hard has been more beneficial to me than going so hard. And I was going hard. I was doing great. I was really enjoying it. And I think you can attest, like, being a part of this stuff that I do is like it's a good time regardless. We always have a good time. But if people are not benefiting, I feel like I failed, if that makes sense. So for me, the rebrand, like you mentioned, wasn't so much about like name, music, and all that. It was like, how can I actually help people? And so that's what this has become. It's like my way to be like, let me put artists like yourself a little bit higher on a pedestal, figure out more of their story, put them in a position where fans understand more about them. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I feel like the issue that everybody has nowadays, not just like in the music industry, but like everybody wants to give 100% all the time, and that's expected of everybody. Whether it's in a job, in school, with your friends, like people want you to give 100%, if not more, all the time. But the problem with that is if you don't refuel, your car's gonna fucking run out of gas. You're gonna be on the side of the road, and that's it. It's burnout. That happens to everybody that pushes themselves a little too far. That's why breaks are important. It's all about health. You gotta take care of yourself.
Straight up, yeah. We'll have a better year this year because of the break we took. Too bad, so sad. Oh no, I already asked you about the radio. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Audience. Let's talk about them. They're important, but who specifically is your listener? Do you know your demographic?
Surprisingly, I have mostly male listeners.
Interesting.
I mean, it's almost split evenly, but I think I have like 56 or 60% male listeners.
Dope. Good for you.
Yeah, it's pretty neat actually. It's interesting to see like people that I usually wouldn't, like stereotypically wouldn't consider listening to my kind of music, listening to my kind of music. It's so dope. Yeah. It is so fantastic, and I love that.
And I think, like we mentioned before, the moms and the grandmas, like they gravitate towards you, right? It's because you're making real music that feels like classic. You know what I mean? Like instant classics. If the music infrastructure didn't exist, meaning you didn't have to go to blogs and playlists and labels and stuff, what would your music scene, what would your music career look like in the next 10 years? It's not about being famous, just like what's next for you.
If none of that mattered, honestly, it would just look like me continuing to do what I do now. Just being authentic with it, taking it seriously, putting attention into my lyrics and my beats and the people that I produce with and the people that I go to their studios. And it's just important to continue to be authentic.
Hell yeah. That's gangster. I respect that a lot. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Alejandra Mesa, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
I hope that you not only benefit from having content and being able to display yourself, but grow from seeing yourself in this interview to whoever you are next year and the years after that, you know what I mean? And be like, this, like, I hope today this will almost help you set more goals for how your other stuff is going to look in your future. You know what I mean? But you are a shining light in a lot of people's communities and circles, and you help everyone you come across. We are all grateful for you. So if they don't tell you enough, here are your flowers. We are super excited to have you in our community.
I appreciate you.
Absolutely. All right, so we out.